Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm here with Kyle from Limits Express Company. We're going to be talking about selling on Amazon, specifically Amazon FBA using wholesale, something that I personally do not bring much personal expertise to, but I'm excited to learn from a subject matter expert. Kyle, thanks for being here, man.
Absolutely, Ryan. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, so do you mind just kind of catching everybody up on what it is to sell wholesale on Amazon? Because I sold private label since late 2016, early 2017 was when I got my first sale. And with private label, like I would literally start my own brand and sell my own branded products, work
Right.
directly with manufacturers, have them stamp my logo on it. How is wholesale different?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty simple concept. I can kind of just give a quick recap of what it is that we're doing, just that kind of, just an overview of it. Obviously, there's more that goes into it, but it's really as simple as we're reaching out to these distributors, these vendors, these suppliers, and we're buying big brand name products. Something as simple as a Colgate toothbrush or a Colgate toothpaste. We're buying products like that at bulk, buying them for cheap pricing. We're getting those sent in, delivered to our warehouse. We can go through, showing you some pictures of our warehouse and everything after. But we're getting those in, we're packaging and we're prepping those how Amazon wants it. Sometimes, we're selling it as a 2-pack or a 3-pack on Amazon. But we package, we prep those how they need to go out. And then we send those off to Amazon. And once Amazon receives those, they'll check those into your inventory. And then once they get into your inventory, now you're eligible to sell on that listing, and you start competing against other sellers who are doing the same exact thing, selling, sending in products to Amazon to try to compete to win the buy box, which we can get more into that. But it's just really, when someone goes and they click add to cart on Amazon, whoever's currently occupying that buy box, which generally means they have the cheapest price, they're going to be able to get credited for that sale. And Amazon takes care of the rest. That's the great part about it. They'll send it out to the customer and they handle all that. And obviously, they have their prime 2-day shipping and quick delivery speeds. So we don't have to handle anything like that. And then obviously, we can just get the profit from there. Obviously, we're buying for cheaper, selling it for more, and then just tracking those profits. So that's just kind of on a basic overview.
No, I appreciate that. And it's interesting, like whoever at Amazon thought of this model where you can sell Colgate toothpaste. And as a buyer, we may think we're buying from Colgate, right? But
Right.
it could be like 25 different sellers on the same
Exactly.
listing, all making a profit off of that toothpaste sale. And again, like you said, like the buy box is whoever's product gets, like, if there's 25 sellers on one listing,
Right.
someone hits add to cart. If it's, Kyle's product that someone's actually purchasing, well, that means that he had the buy box at that moment in time.
Right.
So let
Exactly.
us know, man, like how much money is there really to be made doing wholesale? Like I was kind of blown away. Man, it was probably like 2 or 3 years ago. I had some people on to talk wholesale, and I was kind of blown away back then. So like, what has your journey been like?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, in terms of, how much you can make doing wholesale, I mean, the answer to that's kind of, endless. It's really however much you're spending on inventory, you can then go make. Obviously, we're having to buy the inventory up front. So, however much you're putting up and spending on inventory, whether you're putting up, $10,000 a month or 5,000 or 20,000, whatever it is, there's a bunch of people at much different scales, then, you can make a couple thousand a month. You can make $5,000, $10,000 a month from this. So it really is, and it's not something where you need to, build an account up or anything like that. It's just where, if you can go get products at a cheap price and you can send those in on your account, you can beat sellers that have been doing this for, years, a decade now, as long as it's just really about who has the cheapest pricing. And that's obviously, what we're here for is to get that cheap pricing and be able to sell on those.
Yeah, so it sounds like wholesale really is not that selling in general isn't a game of margins, but it sounds like wholesale really is a strategic game of margins. Like if you can sell for a better price than your competitors on a listing that maybe sells, 1,000 units a day, I mean, damn, like the sky's the limit there. And I like that you talked about, this is something that another seller would probably pick out, but someone who hasn't sold might not. You're talking about you receive the items to your warehouse and then you can change the configuration
Right.
based on like what the best sellers are. Like my first ever product, like 10 packs were I won't say what it was, but like 10 packs were the best sellers. I made a 20 pack. That was a strategic decision for me
Yep.
because it increased my profit margin and allowed me more cushion to run ads when I was unsure about everything because it was literally the first product I launched. So I like that you guys do the, you have that flexibility. You actually are hands-on with the products, and a 3-pack may make you 50% more profit than a 2-pack or something, weird stuff like that.
And that's actually usually the case. So when you can get on packs, you know, it's not obviously always the case, you know, selling it as a single unit. You know, there's certain ones that you can sell well on there too. But selling as those different packs, you know, whether it's a 6-pack or even a 12-pack, absolutely. You know, you're able to get some really good profit margins on those. So us actually getting it in, being able to pack it in those ways, whether it's, again, 3-pack, 4-pack, whatever it is, and then send that off, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And yeah, wholesale. I'm like, damn, should I have been doing this the whole time instead of dealing directly with these suppliers? And you mentioned like the more you spend, similar to private label, like the more you spend, the better discount you typically get.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of the name of the game. When you're working with these vendors and you're working with these distributors, the more you're spending with them, the more they're going to be able to give you discounts and deals and all these promotions off. You know, especially if you're someone that's just getting started out. You know, this is why it's extremely hard to do when you're just a single person doing it. Because if you're trying to place like a $3, $4, $5,000 purchase order with these vendors, a lot of the times they don't care for that. I mean, you know, you're just going to get it at catalog pricing, which catalog pricing is usually never great, you know, and you're not going to be able to get many discounts below that. But when you're someone that's spending 50, 75, 100, 200, $300,000 with them on a monthly basis, you're going to get all the good deals first. You're going to be able to get 5% off, 10% off here, some 15% off products. So, you know, when we can pool money together and then place these huge purchase orders, we can get just off the top 10%, you know, discounts on those so that we can get the best pricing possible. Because to compete with these other, you know, the other competition in Amazon, these are people that are working with these distributors that are spending $200,000, $300,000 a month on purchase orders with them, where they're going to get the best deals possible. So for you as an individual to place your $3,000 purchase order, it's really hard to get in the door with the vendor themselves, and then also compete on the listing with, you know, obviously you're not going to get as good as the price as they are.
And another thing I like about the wholesale model, by the way, while it's on my mind, as somebody who's struggled in the private label streets, I mean, ultimately like have been, you know, quite successful, but looking back, right? I create a listing from scratch and then I need to rank that listing. It's an uphill fight getting the algorithm trained on what the heck it is I'm selling, what search terms to associate with me,
Yep.
a lot of time, effort, ad spend. How is wholesale different there?
Yeah, I mean, there's none of that. It's a good thing, you know. Private label, it has its pros where, you know, once you can, if you can, you know, advertise that and get that product ranked, you know, now you're going to be able to be selling on that exclusively. But with wholesale, we're selling on, you know, bigger brand name products where it already gets sales. We're just going on a pre-existing listing. So that's kind of a common misconception is, are you making your own listing? Or are you going on a listing that's already there? With wholesale, we're going on listings that are already made. So again, if we want to reference back to the Colgate toothpaste, right? You know, that's already a listing and we can already see that it's selling 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 times a month. So we already know an idea of how many sales it's getting a month. And then all we have to do is see if we can get it at a cheap price, because we can see all the competitors and what they're selling it for. We can see the price history on the product. So, you know, what it normally sells for. And if we can get it at a price that we know, even at its lowest price that it sold for through its price history, we're able to get a 20, 30, 40, 50% ROI. Then when we're purchasing that product, you know, we already know that it's going to sell and we already know that we're going to have the best price possible on that and we're going to be able to sell through that pretty quickly. So it's a lot safer than going private label for sure. You know, they each have their pros and cons, but it's definitely a lot safer and you can get profit coming in, you know, instantly once you get the inventory sent in.
Yeah, you make a lot of good points, like things that may be overlooked by Amazon sellers, like looking at price history, looking at BSR history, all that stuff. You know, obviously there's tools that can display that to us. So you don't have to have been selling on Amazon 5 years ago to see how products were performing 5 years ago, what the price was like, etc. So it's good to know that you're like using all that information and stuff. And you actually, we talked off camera, like you have an interesting approach to wholesale that involves working with other people to get the best pricing available. Do you want to elaborate on that? Because it actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a common question, right? You know, people, the first thing people are going to think that are watching this is what, you know, why don't they just do it by themselves? Why would they need to bring people on? You know, because that is what we're doing. We're getting and we're bringing clients on to give inventory spend to then place these orders and make them passive income. So, you know, the first question is going to be kind of what's in it for us, you know, on our side to bring people on is, again, kind of right back to that thing that I started with. We don't have $100,000 or $200,000 liquid to spend every single month on inventory, you know, where if we pool people's money and we get that, you know, we can pool, you know, 50 people's, you know, sending in $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, we can go place $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 purchase orders, and we can go get huge discounts, and we can establish those relationships with those vendors so much quicker and easier when we're spending that much. They don't want to see our business go. They're going to give us those best deals. They're going to work with us. They're going to be able to jump on calls with us and talk through different products and different pricing, and make sure that we can get the best pricing possible so that we can go ahead and sell that. So it's able to, it helps everybody win, where they're going to help us build these relationships with these suppliers to get access to really good pricing that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise if we're trying to place, again, like a $5,000 purchase order with them. And then, they're able to get passive income from this, where, they don't have to do any of the work. We're going to get the products in. We're going to be negotiating with these vendors, on the pricing on it. We're going to be getting the products in our warehouse. We have teams in there that are going to prep those and send those out. And then we also have tons of teams that are monitoring the prices when they go on your Amazon store, handling if there is a return, handling that, tracking your profit and everything. So really all you're doing is giving the inventory spend, and you can just sit back and watch. You can get the app on your phone and you can see the sales coming through. You can see what we bought it for, because you have a buying sheet as well. And then you'll be able to see, the profit in your spreadsheet. And then you can just watch that profit come in month over month. So it's perfect, where we want to be able to bring people passive income, but at the same time, they're allowing us to scale, and they're allowing us to build these relationships and place massive purchase orders with these distributors and compete with those Amazon sellers that have been doing it for a while.
Yeah, it's a truly mutually beneficial relationship. So your Limits Express company is open to potentially, like, obviously there's a, sit down process where you got to interview people, and we're going to link to that if anybody's interested in doing wholesale, but you don't have the time or the desire to learn the ins and outs and do what Kyle just talked about, literally like accepting pallets of inventory, building relationships with suppliers,
Right.
hiring teams of VAs to help you with this stuff. Like, he's got that all in place. So if you are interested in potentially working with him, all right, make sure to use the link at the top of the description. You can learn more about this opportunity, because it actually, hopefully, we're 10 minutes into the video, makes a lot of sense. We talked about the wholesale business, the structure of it, how to not just be in it and make ends meet, but to thrive. And together, like you said, pooling the money together,
Right.
purchasing larger orders opens a bunch of doors. So it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys can book a call and just come on. It's a 30-minute call where we can just talk. You want to see products that we've, sold on in the past. You want to see whatever you guys want to see, and I know you want to get into it a little bit after. I can bring up just some pictures of the warehouse and some of our employees just packing these units. You can just get on a call and we can go through whatever you want and talk about any questions you have. I'm sure, even though, we're probably going to do a little video here, there's still going to be questions that you guys might have, individually. So you can just come on a quick 30-minute Zoom call, see if you're a right fit, and, see if this is something you're interested in and want to do. And then, if not, there's no worries. And if so, then we're going to proceed further, and we're going to, onboard you and get you onto an Amazon store as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and one of the things I liked most, because obviously, like we talked off camera, you sent me a bunch of, things that, help me understand that you're doing this, the right way legitimately, is that you're literally just having people add you, or you're being added to your team is being added to their Seller Central account. So like you said, they can go get their Seller Central mobile app or their desktop app and watch the sales, and that money is being deposited into their bank account. So they know this is all legit. And that was honestly why I was like, man, this makes a lot of sense. And I want you to be able to tell your story on my platform, because this is going to open the doors for whoever decides to take you up on this. It's not going to be for everybody, but people who maybe have extra disposable income, like print on demand, what we talk a lot about on my channel, is great for building up the disposable income side of things. And if you've got extra, why not reinvest it? Like, obviously inflation's going crazy too. Like, we need to put that cash at work. This is a nice way of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of view it as something, when you're investing in stocks and, you're getting an average of, whether it's 7 to 10% return, you're talking about getting, a 10% return yearly, where we're talking about if you can put $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 worth of inventory spend up a month, you're able to get, what we're averaging right now is a 30% return on that money. So, and that's just the store's profit. Obviously there is a profit split after that, but that's a 30% return on that money monthly. And we can keep compounding those profits right back in and keep getting that return. That return's going up on a monthly basis, that ROI. We started when we first got going, we were just, barely under 20 a little bit. We were able to get into the 20s, and now we're 30% average ROI. And as we continue to get bigger and bigger purchase orders and get more money to spend spend, like we were talking about before, we're spending, $200,000 purchase orders with one single distributor, we're going to be able to get that to 40 to 50%. So, those are all things that we want to do in the future. But right now, like I said, we're averaging about a 30% ROI, which is a pretty good spot to be at, but we're looking to continuously keep increasing that.
Yeah. And I mean, I just thought about it too. Like, even if you're willing to sacrifice some of the profit margin to maybe entice buyers with a lower price, the sell through goes faster, like goes up, and you're turning the inventory over. And anybody who's listening, don't forget, you're getting the deposits into your account. So it's not like you're just permanently funding this business. You're literally just recycling the profits.
Right. Exactly.
And then
That's
your
what they
profit
do.
on that scales. It's
So, and people don't need to have an Amazon Seller Central account. And if you already have one, that's perfect. It just takes away one step we have to do. If you don't have one, we have a step-by-step guide and we're going to help you make one. We're going to get that set up. And you are linking your own bank account to it. So, when you are giving us whatever amount it is, it's completely up to you what you want to spend. But let's say, you're giving us $5,000 in inventory, you send that into us. We purchase those products, we get those in, we prep those, we send those out. And then once we send those in Amazon, they start selling through. You're going to receive those payouts from Amazon straight to your bank and you'll get that back. So it's up to you whether, you want to reinvest all the profits right away up front to make the most possible. And then later on, start pulling some of those profits for you, whether you just want to start pulling them right away. It's really entirely up to you. And it's very flexible on how you want to, control what you're doing on there.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, man. It's like you're interfacing with the suppliers and you're also the middleman to like research the products, do the right configurations, and then send for FBA, which those FBA units are going to be received into their FBA account. They'll get the notification. You can't fake this stuff. You'll know it's legit. So also you had mentioned that you have a couple pictures just to kind of show the operation, put people's minds at ease that you've got the warehouse, you've been doing it for a while. And I think that's going to be a nice little touch if you want to screen share.
Yeah, just a couple of things that I can show you. This is a product. Again, we just talked about having 3 packs, 4 packs, and you can see this is just Act mouthwash right here. Again, a name brand product that we're packaging in packs of 3, and then we're getting those sent out. This is just a pallet that we received from one of our distributors that we can keep going through. Again, another one. This was a turtle wax product. You can look. So one category that we like to sell in quite a bit is automotive. So this is one of those products. Let's keep going. Again, the pallets can get pretty big. Again, as we continue to get more, we're ordering bigger and bigger purchase orders with bigger and more pallets. We can click through. Again, 2 other pallets we're bringing in. Again, you can see it's funny that I chose these pictures. There's another 3-pack right here of Aquafresh toothpaste. If we keep coming through, this is a invoice where you can see that these orders that we're placing. So you can see we placed an $18,000 purchase order with this company, and then you're going to be able to see a $12,000 purchase order. So you're able to kind of get an idea of the purchase orders that we're placing, and also just see the products, how they come in our warehouse. Also, you're going to have a buying sheet as well, so you're going to be able to see. On there, it's going to say when the product is shipping and coming into us, it's going to say once we received it. So if you want to track this whole thing, you can see that. You can see once we send it off to Amazon, and then Amazon's going to send you a notification when they check in your units. And then you're going to be able to see those sales come through right on your, your Seller Central dashboard. So you can really document the entire process from when we purchase the products to when we get them in, send them out to Amazon, in the whole thing.
Yeah. And I tried to kind of mention earlier, but in doing wholesale, you're selling these branded products on these listings that are already ranked really well. So is there a hidden cost for ads, or is that not necessary?
No, there's literally no advertising, because again, let's just talk about that Act toothpaste or mouthwash. That's already selling. That already gets a certain amount of sales every single month. We're just going on there, seeing how much it averages. And then that's how we can kind of determine how much inventory we're going to buy for. If something sells 500 times a month, we're probably going to buy about, 300, 400 units, so we know we can get that sold out within about a month and a half, maybe, so that we can get that return, get that money back, and put that right towards more inventory. That's
awesome. And then you did show a spreadsheet off camera. Do you want to share that really quickly, just for some, base level projections of some of the products you're already selling?
Yeah. So I was just talking about a buy sheet. So this is a perfect example of a buy sheet. This is what it's going to look like. So, I mean, you can see this product right here. And just to show you guys, it's really kind of any and every product you can think of. Right here is as simple as a tweezer that we're selling that we are able to get from a supplier. And you can see on the buy sheet as well that the buying price per unit for this product is $9. And then also it's 25 cents per unit for us to send off to Amazon. So if you put into here, this tool that we use, Seller Amp, which some of you guys may be familiar, some of you guys may not, but this is just how you can help track what your profits are, because there is going to be Amazon fees and things like that they will already take out and they'll already calculate for you. Because you can see right here, we're selling this for a little bit under $10, or we bought it for a little under $10 and we're selling it for 24. You can see that should normally be, a little bit over a $14 profit margin, but you can see it's only 7 because those Amazon fees do get taken out, and they're able to calculate that. So after all fees, after everything, after the shipping in, you're able to see we're getting an 83% ROI on this product right here. And you're going to be able to see the competition down here as well. There's a couple different sellers on this, and this is us right here winning this buy box right here at $24 and occupying this buy box and getting those sales for that. And you can also see I think we had bought about 144 of them. And I think we're almost sold through here, a little bit over halfway sold through on that inventory, and we can get that money back and put that towards more profitable products.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. No, I appreciate you being so transparent about this. I know people are going to appreciate that too. Anybody considering like joining Kyle, you know what I mean? Check out the link at the top of the description. Is there a cost, you know what I'm saying, to sit down with you, like for that 30-minute call?
No cost to sit down. Obviously there is a service fee to get signed on, and then obviously you're paying for the inventory. Now we are flexible on how, whether you want to pay through, a wire transfer, a credit card, whatever it is, we can talk about all that, and we're pretty flexible on how we accept payments and how to get started. But there's no additional cost. You can get on with me for free, and we can just talk. And if it's something you don't want to do, then it's something you don't want to do.
Cool, man. And I know you showed me, like, we talked a lot off camera, but like you've got at least a minimum 3-year roadmap already in place. So it's not like this is a quick, like, oh, I'm just going to test it out. And It's more like, hey, this is a business. This is a passive income stream that, for the people that watch YouTube all day, but don't take action, strongly consider this, right? Like if you've got the, capital, right, to start this business and literally benefit from the holistic, like the whole approach, right? Where you're teaming up with other people and getting, margins that you would not be able to fathom, otherwise doing. I really like that approach.
Yeah. And we're going to try to make it as passive as possible for you. There's a couple of different, setup things. If you don't already have an Amazon Seller Central account, you'll need to get onto there. You'll need to make that, but we're going to show you step by step how to make that. We're going to make it with you. We're not going to have you go try to do it on your own. If you already have a Seller Central account, then that's perfect. Like we talked about before, we can completely skip over that step. But again, we're making it as passive as possible. After you set that up, there's really not much you have to do other than just, send in the inventory spend and how much you want to spend on products every single month. And you're able to just watch those profits come in. You'll have spreadsheets. It'll be documenting all the fees, all the profit, and show you how much you're making on a month-to-month basis, as well as, you're going to see those payouts come into your bank account. So there's not really much, if anything, other than sending that inventory spend on a monthly basis that you're going to have to be doing.
Yeah, it couldn't be any easier. It sounds like I'm having flashbacks to when I started on Amazon, man, and I watched my bank account grow, over time.
Right.
And the people that I literally was like knew everybody at every local, I won't say what bank, but like in my area, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I would walk in there like, you again. And I'd be like, hey, it's working. They all knew like what I did because I would have to go in person to do the wires. So they just knew me, man. I would just be talking to them like, yo, I can tell you guys, I can show you how to do it. So I know this works, and it's a great feeling to see the money in your bank account go up. With me, the size of my orders kept going up, but I was a one-man show. So I didn't get these, benefits that, everybody that works with you is going to be getting. So I really like the idea, man. I can't believe I didn't think about this, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. And we even, it's funny that you talk about that, people we know, and we have friends and family that are wanting to get stores because they're seeing what we're doing. When we're just talking about results that we're getting and how much you can make completely passively. Again, it definitely sounds like a no-brainer. So we have people that around us that want to get stores and want to get started. And we've already had a couple people that have already been going now, that have stores.
That's awesome. Yeah. So anybody interested, they can jump on a call with you. It's going to be the top link in the description. Anything else we should know, Kyle?
No, I think that's it. Again, just book a call. We can come, we can talk about anything, any questions that you might have, anything that we missed on this call. And then again, after that, if you want to proceed, of course, we're going to get you going and get a store set up. If not, then again, no worries. It's completely free call. You can hop on, we can talk for 30 minutes about anything that you want.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being here to share this opportunity and a little bit of your expertise with Amazon Wholesale with us. And thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Ryan.